Hello everyone, in today's video I'll be reviewing Invisible Agent from 1942. The movie is directed by Edwin L. Marin, produced by Frank Lloyd. The screenplay was written by Kurt Zodnik. The movie stars Alana Massey, John Hall, Peter Lorre, Sir Cedric Hardwicke, J. Edward Broomberg, Cohen Little, and Albert Basserman. The movie was released on July 31st, 1942. The plot to The Invisible Agent is about the late Jack Griffin's grandson used the invisible form to spy on the Nazi Germans during World War II. This one is very interesting. It's a little bit different, more so than the last one. It takes place during World War II and came out around the time when the war was going on and when America just entered the war after the bombing of Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. This movie is a spy thriller espionage, but still hard because of how it reminded audience at the time what was going on in the real world with World War II at the time. Definitely a real-life horror movie reflecting the time, but with no gore and graphic violence. Not like what you see in today's World War II movies like Saving Private Ryan, Hacksaw Ridge, and so many other World War II films. Around this time, Hollywood was making World War II propaganda films ordered by the US government. Originally, this movie was going to be titled Invisible Spy, which would have made more sense. It would have been the right proper title for this movie when you think about it. They shot a scene where Raymond is putting a boot behind Hitler's backside. The scene was cut for specific reasons. The studio worried about the audience being sensitive to seeing a scene with Adolf Hitler at that time. I'm not sure why. This scene is not on a DVD or Blu-ray special feature deleted scenes, or has not been restored for whatever specific reason for that. Heck, I can't even find this scene on YouTube. Despite that I mentioned earlier, the plot in The Invisible Man's grandson is the main character. They make it clear that Raymond is related to Jack Griffin, but are unsure how he's related. They cannot make up their minds on whether or not is he the son or grandson of Jack Griffin. They don't explain that, but it's a minor flaw that does not affect the movie that much. Heck, they don't explain if he could be the son or nephew of Frank Griffin when The Invisible Man returns. It said he changed his name when he came to the US for specific reasons to avoid the shadow of his family name. Or the Nazi spies think Frank Griffin from the second movie was the inventor of the formula, where it was really Jack Griffin who invented the formula from the first movie. They must have forgotten about the first movie. The writers did not think twice or rewatch the first three movies at the studio before home videos existed back in the 1940s. Raymond was lucky to survive when the Nazis tried asking for the formula. When you thought they were going to chop his hand off, that scene was intense and disturbing. Raymond tricked the Nazis and got away. At first, Raymond was against giving his formula away to the government, but after the Pearl Harbor attacks, he decided to use it only for himself, be the only one being invisible, because Raymond knows and understands the risk and dangers of being invisible, knowing what Jack Griffin went through in the first movie. This movie makes you think at the time when this movie came out, people imagining having an invisible formula serum to help win the war if it did exist. Similar when they made comic books, fans imagining if Superman or Batman stopped Hitler to win the war, and the war would be over in 5 minutes. Fast. Unlike the previous movies, the Invisible Man wore bandages, sunglasses, a suit. In this movie, wore makeup, something a little bit different. Alana Massey you all remember as Elsa Frankenstein from Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. She may have been a German spy but was against the Germans' plans. It makes sense for Raymond not to trust her because she was a Nazi spy, and she can't blow her cover, otherwise she will be killed by the Nazis. It's funny how when she first meets Raymond, it's a little bit awkward when she takes her robe off, but no nudity. He's invisible, and she has no idea what he looks like. And also, that's a little bit of privacy right there. She has a dinner date with Nazi General Heiser. Frank interferes and plays tricks on General Heiser. Alana Massey said that in an interview that she hated doing this movie and did not find her character memorable. I thought she was okay in this movie. She did just as good a job as Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. Heiser, well, you could be somewhat two-dimensional, but his character was scum and a sleazeball. He's arrested by his own kind for a crime he did not commit, and he agreed to help Raymond, but of course, he was only using Raymond just so he could get away and continue with his plan to destroy America to go forward with that. Peter Lorre's in this movie, plays one of the German Nazi spies. What more could you ask for? What's not to love about Peter Lorre? It may be a small part, but he's always great to watch, no matter the movie. 1 year later, he was in Casablanca, another war propaganda film. He's the only German actor in this movie, and yet he plays a Japanese character. Once again, Sir Cedric Hardwicke is once again used in this film, but this time as a Nazi general. He is the father of Alana Massey's character. It's interesting that they are both German. He's a Nazi general who wants to follow Hitler's footsteps, planning on trying to win the war and take over the world. And yet she is not like what her father's become. Kind of a strange, complicated father-daughter relationship when you think about it. Alani Max's character Maria was an example showing how not everyone was alike during the war in Germany. Not all Germans wanted war, some wanted peace. This makes you wonder how this could have happened in real life, where the kids did not like or agree with their family Nazi parties, but of course, this is fictional in the movie. What I meant by that is that these characters are made up, but you could argue that these characters could have been based off of somebody. This movie may be a serious war movie, it does have some moments of humor, comedic moments. Frank interfering playing tricks and pranks on Maria's date, General Heiser. What's weird about this is why would Frank prank her date when she was going to gather information on the Germans' secret information on the war against America? Or the chemistry between Maria and Frank can be funny and humorous sometimes. This movie is once again the last Invisible Man movie to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Special Effects, but did not win instead. Reap the Wild Wind won the Academy Award for Best Special Effects that year, in 1942. This is the last time John Fulton did the special effects, who did the special effects in the previous movies. Being a little kid watching this movie did not occur to me how this one took place during World War II. I must ignore that as a little kid. Rewatching as an adult today, it was interesting rewatching and seeing how it was one of World War II movies affecting an audience at the time, remind them of the current events. They've recycled and used the same music from Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. Sometimes it would make me wonder, would not surprise me, this movie could have been banned in Germany for years because of the war at the time when this movie came out, but no evidence to prove that. It has a happy ending where once again Raymond saves the day and falls in love with Maria. Again, just like Invisible Woman, you have to go with a different open mindset. This is a war drama spy movie, and not the last Invisible Man movies. So that was my review of Invisible Agent. Like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell to get the latest updates on my YouTube channel, and I will see you tomorrow for The Invisible Man's Revenge from 1944.